Hi everyone, Sean here. Another episode of the SF Fitness Update Show. Hope everybody's well out there. It's been quite the week here this week, equal parts good and frustrating. But I've got a couple of things I want to go through today, so give me a few minutes of your time and we'll get going. Okay, been a little frustrated from this week in terms of my own training. I picked up a knee injury the weekend, terrific. Which means basically that I've been unable to use my left leg properly, which kind of throws a lot of my training off because I rely on full body movements, Olympic weightlifting, kettlebell work in my training. So I can't run around, I can't bend it properly, and it's put me in quite an annoyed mood a lot of the time in the training. And the reason I tell you guys this is because I think a lot of people out there are in the same boat in terms of the fact they're getting frustrated that they're getting out of shape when a lot of the friends are in shape, pardon me, or they're training hard. And it's not necessarily an injury that's making that happen. That can be if you've got a busy job, you've got a busy work life, or a busy family life, although someone tells me it's not, or with that one, it's both, it's just busy. And you kind of worry that your mates that you grew up with, who don't have as busy a life, they're spending time in the gym and they're fit, they're in shape, and you might not be. So the problem you have with that is you need to find a way to get back in shape, because you're frustrated and you're annoyed and it's kind of resulting in unhappiness in the rest of your life. Now, the way to do that is quite simple, is to find something to do training wise that you're going to enjoy, that's going to make it worthwhile giving up a bit of your time. You don't need to be in the gym for 2 hours a day sometimes. You can just get in for 30-45 minutes and get it done and get back to your family. And that's kind of what I offer with some of the training package that I offer if you look on the website, or the Pinnacle program if you sign up for. Now, I'm not going to send out the links at the moment. The links will be in the comments box below the video if you're watching this on YouTube. They'll be in the comments section if you're watching this on Facebook. And if you're watching this on the email, they're in the email itself. But sometimes you need that kick up the arse, as it were, to get back and fall back in love with training again, because what we talked about before, in the fact is people don't really enjoy training at the time, but they enjoy the benefits it gives them because they can enjoy their life much more outside. The frustration's not there, and you don't get stick through mates anymore from being a little bit soft around the edges. And sometimes you do need that, especially if you're busy, to get somebody just to give you a program to do in the gym, to go in and do it and get out. You don't want to think about it because you think enough during the day. Okay, so there's potential there for things in terms of online coaching, and I say this a lot of the times. I offer these services, so do a lot of other people. What I'm not going to say is you have to choose me over everybody else. Other people might be a better fit for you than I might. What I'm saying is look at my stuff. If you don't like it, don't do it. But find somebody that you do enjoy, that you can work with, that you can find a bit of trust in. Okay, now, the other thing that I want to talk about is kind of linking in with two of the blog posts that I put in this week. They got quite a big response through social media. The one that I put out, I put a blog post out about depression, which some people have said it was quite a brave thing to do, because it's not something that gets spoken about quite a lot, and not a lot of people are upfront about it. I mean, depression is something that I feel strongly about, because it's something that I personally struggle with, as well as my wife, and I see both aspects of it, from struggling myself and then trying to support my wife when she's bad. And the problem is, not a lot of people are open about it, because they feel like they are almost being frauds if they feel bad. Because, and I'll tell you why this is, because depression is not something that you can see or you can touch, or that has an aura about it. It's not something that you can quantify. So therefore, people think it's not as bad as some of the other things. So if you broke your leg and you're confined to a wheelchair on your couch, your leg in cast, and you get down because you sat on the couch all the day, people can just look at the broken leg and identify with it and just think it's part of it. But when you're confined to the couch or on your bed all day because you're depressed, people don't understand that. And people just try to say, oh, you just got to get moved around, and it's not that easy to do. But the main point is this. People can think of themselves that they think it's almost like a fraudulent way of being, because they convince themselves that they're not as bad as it's not as bad as it actually is. So let's think about this for example. So we were watching on the news the other day with the young man Stephen Saunders, who passed away the other day, who had incurable cancer and spent his life, his short life, trying to raise a lot of money for charity, which he did, and he got a lot of celebrities onto the cause and stuff, and it was a fantastic thing to do. And unfortunately died the other night. So I was watching this, and somebody else watched it, and then my wife was saying, I'm complaining about being depressed, but it's nothing compared to the problems that this young man had. And in a way, it can be quite a noble attitude to say, because you're thinking, well, what am I complaining about? There are things much worse going on. And yeah, people have big problems, big maladies. People have a lot of things going on that prevent them from living their lives. But by saying that kind of thing, you're kind of trivialising your own problems. You're kind of making them smaller and not dealing with them. Now, the small problems that you have that you trivialise can often cause the biggest problems in the long run, especially in terms of the mental aspect of your life, because you don't deal with them. You just try and shut them away and just try and carry on. Now, if you have an issue like that, if you have a problem that is causing you pain, be it mental or physical, you have to deal with it, otherwise it will manifest itself later on in life or later on that same day. So it's important that you don't trivialise your problems, because if you have a problem, it still affects you. It's still a problem. It's not small because you can't see it. Okay? And there are avenues of help out there. I think the charity Mind is one of the best charities out there. They do a lot of awareness work. And in fact, my wife signed up for a 10k run, so I'll put the link to her sponsorship page on the comments box as well if you want to get on there and sign up and pledge some money towards it. You never know, I might even sign up myself for a 10k run. It's not something I like to do, but you never know. So the basic point of the email is this. If you have problems, you've got to deal with them head on. Otherwise, if you put them away, they're going to manifest and they're going to start taking over. No problem is too small to be dealt with. If it's your problem, if it affects you, it's still a big problem to you. Don't trivialise your issues, deal with them, get your life back on track. Okay, there are people out there that can help. I can even help with some of the psychological support that I do in my online programming, but again, have a look and see if it's for you. Okay, that'll do for now. I think I've rambled on for quite a bit today. Like I said, if you like the stuff, share it on the social media platforms, give me some comments, give me some feedback. I still do take questions. If people want to send in questions, I can still answer individual questions, but sometimes I just want to waffle a little bit. So, thanks for that, guys. I'll see you next week.